Just because I sit on the floor doesn't mean it's playtime. This is what happens every time I sit down to film a video. You want to be a part of the video? Oh, okay, you're getting fully in there. How can you be so heavy and so bony at the same time? Right, g'day folks, Wren here, and it is time for my February haul. I've realised that I have a problem when it comes to buying books. Going forward, I'm going to try and not buy so many books, because this is a lot. I will say, most of the books I buy are from secondhand shops, so they're a couple dollars each. But I do that so often that sometimes I just buy books to get that dopamine hit. And like, that's not a good enough reason to buy a book. So let's try and not buy books moving forward, shall we? Cool. Until then, let's look at all of the books that I bought in February, of which there are several. So first up, I have Be More Bee by Alison Davies. How to Find Your Buzz. It sounds hilarious, but it's also super cute inside. It's like one of those like self-help books, but with a bee metaphor, and it's just adorable inside. So I bought it. Next up was Cosmic Power, Ignite Your Light, A Simple Guide to Sun Signs for the Modern Mystic by Vanessa Montgomery. Again, this is another like self-helpy book. I mainly bought it because I've seen it everywhere and I have no idea what it is. There's also cool pictures inside this. I'll give it a go. I've never been too interested in the sun. I'm more of a moon person, but you know, I'll see what this is like. Next up is one I intentionally bought, and I've wanted to own it for such a long time, so I finally took the plunge and I bought it. So that is Ace, What Asexuality Reveals About Desire, Society, and the Meaning of Sex by Angela Chen. This is one of my favourite books of all time. It was such a gut punch when I read it. Like, it's so important and really helped me understand my asexuality a bit more and all the complexities that come with that. And I've wanted to own it for so many years, but it's always been so expensive. And I'm really excited to own this finally. So I definitely want to reread it and go through and like highlight and tab the absolute hell out of this. Next up, this was totally a cover buy, and that is His Bloody Project, Documents Relating to the Case of Roderick Macrae by Graham Macrae Burnett. I don't really know what this is about, but it looked good. I think it's kind of a true crime-ish. The year is 1869. A brutal triple murder in a remote community in the Scottish Highlands leads to the arrest of a young man by the name of Roderick Macrae. A memoir written by the accused makes it clear that he is guilty, but what drove him to commit such merciless acts of violence. So that does sound kind of interesting, and like anything to do with Scotland, I'm pretty keen for. Next is The Strange Disappearance of a Bollywood Star by Wasim Khan. This just looked fun. I don't know how I'll get along with this because it seems like it's a cozy mystery. Like really, I really don't know. Oh wait, no, I know why I bought this. Okay, so this rising star goes missing. This guy's mother gets Inspector Chopra to investigate. Inspector Chopra's sidekick is a baby elephant named Ganesh. He has a baby elephant that he's helping solve crimes. So that's why I bought it. Then I picked up My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. I have wanted to read this for such a long time, and also the cover is stunning. I really hope I'll get along with this one. I've read a Grady Hendrix before, and I wasn't a fan. But people seem to say that this is one of his best, so I'll give this a go. Really hope I like it. Then we have The Collected Regrets of Clover by Mickey Brammer. Why did I buy this? Let's find out. In her work as a death doula. Very cool. Clover ushers people peacefully through their last days, collecting their final words into 3 notebooks: advice, confessions, and regrets. But it's also about her trying to like live with the living instead of with the dead kind of thing. But just the idea of a death doula, that sounds fascinating. So I kind of really want to know about that. I'm like literally putting these books in a pile in front of me of like intentional buys, ones I actually want to read, impulse buys, and then I have another pile of like in between. Next up is Black Wings Beating by Alex London. I don't know if I should have bought this, but I know it's queer in some way and I know that people seem to really like it, so I bought it. Like, if I have a vague notion that a book is queer, I'll probably buy it, which is a problem that I'm gonna try and fix. There's a lot of bird metaphors in this. There's a twins with ancient gifts and a war. Ooh, a ghost eagle. That sounds fun. Oh, okay, so it's gay. So far, I know that it's gay. I don't know how I'll get on with this, but I bought it. Alright, the last one in this very first stack is To Sappho, My Sister. Lesbian sisters write about their lives, edited by Lee Fleming. I basically saw the word Sappho and I bought it, but it does seem to be... Oh, in this one-of-a-kind anthology, lesbian sisters from several countries explored their relationships with one another. Through their words and photographs, both well-known and less famous siblings revealed the many faces of lesbian sisterhood. I mean, it sounds like it could be cool. An interesting time. When was this made? Because it feels very 90s. 1995, there we go. Yep, I bought it. Do we all know which pile that one's going in? Alright, the first of the bags. We have A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. Everyone seems to love this. I know my niece really loves this because I bought it for her for her birthday, and then like as soon as she finished reading it, which was like the next day, she went and bought the rest of the series. So she really enjoyed this, but I know that like lots of people on BookTube also enjoy it, so I'm kind of intrigued. So I'm gonna give it a go. YA mystery thriller, very beloved, so I'll give it a go. Oh yeah! See, I'm discovering all these books as well. These have been sitting in these bags for so long that like I've forgotten what I bought. But I got Hunger, a memoir of my body by Roxane Gay. I saw this cover and I was like, yoink. It's Roxane Gay. I have always wanted to read a Roxane Gay, and this is in particular one that I really, really wanted to read. So I'm really looking forward to reading this, maybe for the next Thick Thighs readathon. But yeah, this is just a memoir, potentially about what it's like being fat. Yeah, Roxane Gay addresses the experience of living in a body that she calls wildly undisciplined. She casts an insightful and critical eye over her childhood, teens, and 20s, including the devastating act of violence that was a turning point in her young life, and brings readers into the present and the realities, pains, and joys of her daily life. I think it's going to be amazing, because Roxane Gay. I've never read a Roxane Gay, but I'm like, queen. She's the best. Like, no one can do better. We have Fusion by Kate Richards. This cover is so cool. So this one was a, do I buy, do I not buy, because the main character's name is Wren. Because I had this conversation with Max a while ago where I was like, he was going through some of my books and he was like, hey, this main character's name is Max. And I was like, ew, unhaul. Because it would just be so weird. And unfortunately, Max is a very common name. And so then when he saw that I bought this and he was like, wait a minute. And I was like, I know. I just want to see if it would be weird. Because I have seen my name in books before and I've just immediately noped right out of that situation. But this one I was already intrigued and I was like, I could give it a go. So we will see. This is also set in Australia, which is awesome. The Australian Alpine Wilderness. Don't know what that is. So Sea and Serene live in the Australian Alpine Wilderness together with Wren, the young man who helps care for them. Each has found peace in this wild, fierce landscape, and they live in harmony, largely self-sufficient. One day, Wren discovers a woman on the road nearby, badly injured and unconscious. He brings her back to the cottage, and he and the twins nurse her back to health. but the arrival of this outsider shatters the dynamic within with unforeseen consequences. Ooh, lyrical and poetic. Fusion is a unique and haunting modern Gothic tale that at its heart has questions of selfhood, dependency, difference, and love. It sounds intriguing, so I'm gonna give it a go. Maybe I should like vlog the experience of what it's like to read a book with my name, because I think I'm gonna have feelings. Then I have The Case of the Missing Marquess, an Enola Holmes mystery by Nancy Springer. So this is the first book in the Enola Holmes series, and I have really wanted to read this series since I first saw the movie. I reluctantly saw the first movie because I haven't ever really been the biggest fan of, what's her name, Millie Bobby Brown, or Millie, the girl that plays Enola Holmes. I have never been her biggest fan. But then my nieces wanted to watch it and I fell head over heels in love with that movie. It's great. And then I watched the second one, also great. And I really want to read the series, and I saw this at an op shop and I love this cover. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna get that. So Enola Holmes is a historical mystery series where it's Enola Holmes is like the younger sister of Sherlock Holmes, and she is also wanting to be a detective. But then she's kind of like living in the shadow of her older brother. But I'm looking forward to it. It should be fun, and the movie was great, so. Mort E. and Cul-de-sac. These are by Robert Rapino. This is a short novella. This is like book 1.5 or something, and then this is the first book. So funny. But this is about aliens, and so there's a war that's happening where human extinction is the goal. The instigator of this war is the colony, a race of intelligent ants who for 1,000 years have been silently building an army that will forever eradicate the destructive, oppressive humans. As a final step in the war effort, the colony uses its strange technology to transform the surface animals into high-functioning, two-legged beings who rise up to kill their masters. Former house cat turned war hero Mort E. is famous for taking on the most dangerous mission and fighting the dreaded human bioweapon EMSA. But the true motivation behind his recklessness is his ongoing search for a pre-transformation friend, a dog named Sheba. It's so cute. This sounds hilarious and really interesting, so I'm actually really intrigued to read this. It sounds like it's going to be so much fun. Oh my god, look at that little picture there. Do you see that? It's a big ant and a little cat. Next up is, Everything Leads to You by Nina LaCour. This is a book I've wanted to read for such a long time, but it's like never available in libraries. So when I found this at an op shop, I was like, yes, because this is gay. I've read a few Nina LaCour books and I really love her writing. So I'm looking forward to this. I don't actually know what this is about. I just know that this is one of the first queer books that I heard about when I started to get back into books. Emmy has been entrusted with her brother's Los Angeles apartment for the summer as a graduation gift, but she isn't sure how to fulfill his one condition, that something great take place there while he's gone. Okay. Ooh, Emmy and her friend Charlotte discover a mysterious letter at the estate sale of a Hollywood film legend, and Emmy finds herself chasing down the loose ends of a movie icon's hidden life. It could be interesting. It does sound a little very much YA, but that's fine. But yeah, it sounds like it could be very interesting, and I really love Nina LaCour's writing, so I am looking forward to this. Next up, The King is Dead by Benjamin Dean. I had heard about this book, but I didn't actually want to read it, because it didn't sound like something I would actually enjoy, even though I do like Benjamin Dean. I saw it at an op shop, so I bought it. We've established that I have a problem, right? But this is queer, I know that. Life was always going to be difficult for the first black and queer heir to the throne. When mysterious green envelopes start appearing in the palace, threatening to expose every last skeleton in the royal closet, James becomes certain of one thing: trust nobody. Yeah, I'll give it a go. Next up is This Is the Way the World Ends by Jen Wild. I bought it because it's Jen Wild and I want to read more of her books. Oh, and I also bought it for this. As an autistic scholarship student, you put autistic in something and I want to read it. So it seems like this autistic scholarship student witnesses a murder, you know, gotta survive the night type thing. It's queer and autistic, so I do want to read it. I don't know how I'll get on with it because it's set at like a prestigious school, which I have no time for. But it might be good. Alright, next, yes, is Plain Bad Heroines by Emily M. Danforth. I have wanted to read this book ever since it came out. I really wanted to get it, but it was so expensive. Like, it often had the cover that I didn't like, because I like this cover. I don't like the like yellow and pink one as much, but oh, I'm so hyped. Oh my god, it has This Book Belongs To. That's so cute. But yeah, I'm really hyped for this because it is like paranormal investigation. Love that. And it's almost set in like 2 timelines, which I don't love. In 1902, Flo and Clara are madly in love with each other, as well as completely obsessed with the story of Mary MacLane, a scandalous debut memoir by a 19-year-old MacLane. A few months later, they are found dead in the woods after a horrific wasp attack, and the book lying next to their entwined bodies. Within 5 years, the school is closed, but not before 3 more people die on the property, each in a troubling way. Over 100 years later, Brookhants opens its doors once more, when a crew of young actresses arrive to film a high-profile movie about the rumoured Brookhants curse. And as past and present become grimly entangled, it's soon impossible to tell quite where the curse leaves off and Hollywood begins. That sounds amazing. So, I am very much looking forward to this. I am a little scared by the size though, because she's thick. Oh yeah, I did buy this, huh? So then I got Scarecrow by Matthew Riley. This is book 3 in the Shane Schofield series. I have read this book and Scarecrow is my favourite of that series, and like it is definitely a favourite of all time because it was just so much fun. I see this book everywhere whenever I go to op shops and I never buy it because I'm like, well, I already own Scarecrow. I don't need the hardback of it. But then I was like, well, why not? I hope you get this message by Farah Naz Rishi. This has some like art in it, which was kind of cool. And it is signed, which is also very cool. Yeah, I know that this is queer. It's YA. There's something to do with like they're sending messages to aliens or something. Yeah, so it's like a bunch of kids start sending messages and there's a chance that there's only 7 days left for humanity to live. I don't know, but aliens and anything sounds great to me. I love alien stuff. And one of these teenagers, I don't know if it's just one or if it's more than one, but one of them is queer. The Girl Who Could Move Shit With Her Mind by Jackson Ford. Okay, and then the reason I bought this was because it says, like Alias meets X-Men. Alias? That was amazing. Like, back when I was a kid, that was some good times. And X-Men, I love X-Men. So, this also sounds like it's going to be really, like, humorous, which I don't know how I'll go with, because sometimes me and humor books, we don't get on well. This girl has telekinetic powers. The government is all too happy to make use of those skills by sending her on secret break-in missions that no ordinary human could carry out. But all she wants to do is pretend she's normal. When a body turns up at the site of her last job, murdered in a way that only someone like Tegan could have pulled off, she's got 24 hours to clear her name. It could be fun. I impulse buy so much. Okay, we have The Unspoken Name by A.K. Larkwood. I think I just picked this up because I've seen it on BookTube before. Oh, but it does say, I can't say this character's name. Cool. They were raised by a death cult steeped in old magic. On her 14th birthday, she must climb the mountain and enter the Shrine of the Unspoken. There she will gain their most honoured title, Sacrifice. Someone's like, hey, come leave with me so you don't have to die. So she turns away from her destiny and her god to become a thief, a spy, and an assassin. The sorcerer's loyal sword. I shouldn't have bought this, but I did. Watch me just unhaul half of the books that I bought. It says, ooh, Concrete Rose by Angie Thomas. This was an intentional buy. I have wanted to read Concrete Rose for so long, and I really, really loved The Hate You Give. I loved it so, so much. I did unhaul the copy that I had, only because I wanted to own Concrete Rose as well, but the edition of The Hate You Give that I owned did not match this. And Concrete Rose, like, only comes in this cover, as far as I could tell. So I have to get The Hate You Give that matches this, because, you know, a series has to match. But I am so hyped for this one. So Concrete Rose follows Star's dad when he was like a teenager. So he's very much in gang life, and I feel like that could be super interesting because he was such an interesting character in The Hate You Give, and he did have this whole kind of messed up past that even as an adult he was still trying to get out of. So I think it was super interesting, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what his story is. Then we have The Masterful Cat is Depressed Again Today, Volume 1 by Hatsuzi Yamada. This was ever so kindly gifted to me by Paige from Pages with Paige, so thank you, my dear. So excited. I love this so, so much. But I read this at the very beginning of January. It's so friggin' cute. I love it so, so much, and I am desperate to read the rest of this series. But I really want to reread this again right now. So thank you, Paige. This is Going to Hurt by Adam Kay. I have already read this and I loved it. This is a kind of a memoir-ish, but this is about Adam's life as a junior doctor in the UK and all of the absolute weird stuff that happens at a hospital sometimes, and how he dealt with that or didn't deal with that. And it has a very humorous tone to it until you get towards the end and it's like, oh, this is serious. It was really, really well done, and I really liked this, so I'm glad I now have a copy. So then we have The Fever King by Victoria Lee. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not sure that this is actually gonna be for me, but I know it's queer, so I bought it. I've never heard anything bad said about this book, but I don't hear much about it. But the people that do read it seem to love it. So maybe I will too. I'm not sure because it seems like a dystopian type thing, and I don't usually like dystopians. So in the former United States, 16-year-old gnome wakes up in a hospital bed, the sole survivor of the viral magic that killed his family and made him a technopath. He is thrust into the magical elite of the nation of Carolinia. The son of undocumented immigrants, Gnome has spent his life fighting for the rights of refugees fleeing magical outbreaks. Sensing a way to make a change, he accepts the offer to teach him the science behind his magic, while secretly planning to use it against the government. I don't know. Kind of interesting concept, except for the dystopian part of it. I'll give it a go. Seriously. If you even think that I might be buying a book in March, yell at me. Seriously. Ooh, next is two that I got on Kickstarter, and that is Bloodsmith, issue 1 and 2. Yeah, issue 1 and issue 2. By Morgan Quaid and David Schwartz. These are comic books that I backed on Kickstarter because they sound awesome. I wish that there was some information that I could remember to tell you about. But they kind of seem to be monster hunting-esque things with a little bit of a historical / steampunky, like very light steampunky kind of vibe. But I don't know, but it looked interesting, and there's like creatures and magical things, so that looks awesome to me. Oh, and then we have The Beautiful by Renee Ardier. This was gifted to me by Kirsty, who's lovely, and she got it for me for Valentine's Day, and she was like, not gonna lie, I bought this just for the title. because she's cute. She's very cute. But this is a vampire book, which I've heard such good things about, so I'm really intrigued to read it. Because, like, vampire books don't often get, like, really good reviews, unless they're, like, trashy good reviews, and no one has said that this is trash. So, I'm very interested. And it's set in New Orleans, which I love anything in New Orleans. New Orleans is such an interesting city, and I do actually want to visit someday. There's also a serial killer happening, so that's always fun for me. Ooh, but when she takes matters into her own hands, she finds herself caught in the midst of an age-old feud between the darkest creatures of the night, where the price of forbidden love is her life. It sounds like a fun time and, like, vampires. I want to get back into vampires, because it's been a while. I got the Long Live the Pumpkin Queen by Shay Earnshaw. I basically bought this because of Emily. She really loves The Nightmare Before Christmas, and I know she read this, but she liked it, so I bought it. I never had an interest in reading this because Sally wasn't ever really an interesting character to me. I'll give this a go. Maybe it'll turn out that Sally's actually super interesting. Zero's in this too. I love Zero. Next up, oh my god, I cannot believe I saw this in an op shop. But that is Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. Didn't this, like, just come out? Like, I'm pretty sure this paperback version isn't available in Australia just yet. And it's already in an op shop. Wild times. Originally, I bought this so that I could give it to my niece, because I think she will love this, because I've heard this described as The Princess Bride, but the bride saves herself. And Princess Bride is one of my niece's all-time favorite movies. For some reason, I don't understand the hype around that movie, but that's just me. So I think she would love this. Next up, I got Drama by Raina Telgemeier. This is a middle grade graphic novel. I think this one is queer, maybe, I don't know. But it's also about theatre, and if you know me at all, you know I love theatre books of all kind. Love it so much. So Callie loves theatre, but she can't sing, so she can't try out for their musicals. So instead, she is the set designer for the drama department stage crew. That's cool. I love, like, the backstage stuff of theatre productions. So her being a set designer, super cool. Ooh, is The King of Fools by Amanda Foody. I recently bought Ace of Shades, which is the first in this duology, and I think I bought Ace of Shades because Kirsty liked it. Saw this in an op shop, so I bought this. I haven't read Ace of Shades yet. But yeah, I'm not going to read what this is about because I don't know what the first one is about. This is The Strange Worlds Travel Agency by L.D. Lipinski. This is a middle grade novel, and it's one I've wanted to read for a really long time because it is queer, and I've heard really good things about it. In this world, every suitcase transports you to a different world. That's pretty fun. Ooh, so this 12-year-old girl goes to, like, discovers what these suitcases do, and she's going to all these different worlds and having a good time, but she starts to notice that something is wrong. So she's trying to figure out what's happening and stop it before all of the worlds vanish. But sounds like it could be cool. I haven't read a middle grade in a while, and, like, I really should because they're always fun. Next up is Crime Writer by Dime Shepherd. This is a indie book that I found at the op shop, which is always fun. So this is about an author. She's a crime writer, so she writes crime novels. She's writing one of her books. She's really struggling with it, but then it turns out that there is a real life case that is exactly like what she's writing, and I think the police is suspicious. I don't really know about this one, but it could be interesting. It's gonna go in the probably shouldn't have bought pile. Alright, last book that I bought in February is Apparition Alley by Catherine V. Forrest. This is a Kate Delafield mystery. I bought this because it's like lesbian crime fiction. So that sounds fun. But yeah, this is part of a series where the main character is a lesbian, which love that. So we're following a police officer or a homicide detective. A gunfight erupts during what should be a routine drug bust, and Kate is shot by another officer, but no one wants to fess up to the misfire. Drawn into a maze of lies, she finds a connection between her own accident and the suspicious demise of another cop, who may have been on the verge of outing gay and lesbian officers. It sounds like it could be intriguing, and I'm weirdly in the mood for like mystery thrillers lately, like more so on the mystery than the thrillers, so making it queer is definitely the way to go for me. Unfortunately, this isn't the first in the series. 1, 2, 3. This is book 4. I assume this is one of those series where you can just read it in any order, so that's what I'm gonna do. And I am actually more intrigued about this one, so this is gonna go in the intentional buy. How many books was that? Oh, should I count? Oh, do I want to count? Let's count. That's 35 books. 2 of them were bought for me, and a couple I have read before, but that's still 35 books. Seriously, I need to not buy books in March, because this is getting out of control. Like, there are 9 books in my pile of probably shouldn't have bought. If there are any books in here that you think that, yeah, I probably shouldn't have bought that either, please let me know. Decisions were made, and they weren't all good. Anyways, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next one, which is hopefully not going to be a haul. Bye!